Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be starting our first bit of Pokemon content with me, Zach. And our first bit is going to be a tier list. This is a very for fun tier list. We're going to be rating the Pokemon based off of how much I think their design slaps super hard. It's going to be real controversial. I'm going to have to ask you guys to be really nice to me, or at least each other, in the comments. Today we're going to be covering the first generation of Pokemon, although, as part of that, we are going to be covering Megas, Giganta, Giga, Super, Omega versions, and also Alolan when we get to them. So this will be a little bit bigger than normal. There's also a lot of what appear to be duplicates on this list. I think that those are differences between male and female Pokemon. Some of them are identical, so I may be ignoring those on the list though, because I don't think generally that's going to make a big difference to me. But let's get started. We've got the number one Pokemon in the video game, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is pretty good. I like Bulbasaur. The first generation of Pokemon has a sort of simplistic, I don't want to say caricature, but certainly a cartoonified version of real life look to it. It's not overly complex. They don't add a bunch of weird dingleberries to everything. It's pretty good. I think Bulbasaur is definitely a like Pokemon. It is simple, but he does kind of look like a little toad cat, and I'm big into that. Ivysaur, number 2 Pokemon in the video game. Pretty good, pretty good. I also like him. I like when things grow on like creature backs. I'm a big fan of that, as we'll see way later on in like Generation 4 or something. But Ivysaur also goes into the like category, but a little bit higher than Bulbasaur. I like his coloration a bit more as well, I think. Now we get to Venusaur. Again, I don't know what the difference is supposed to be between these two. If there is, like there are tiny differences in their flower, I'm going to ignore that. I assume that's a difference between male and female somehow. We're just going to use the first one. I love Venusaur. Venusaur is one of my favorite starters in terms of the final evolution of them. I think Venusaur is great. I like poison types in general, and I think I would also count myself as a grass enjoyer, so big fan of that as well. The Mega Form, I don't love the flower on the forehead as much. It feels a bit out of place, but the rest of this is pretty peak, not gonna lie. I'm actually a big fan of it. If it didn't have this, or if this was a bit, like, if it was a bit more overgrown everywhere, I think it might be higher than the original. A lot of Mega Forms are pretty close to the original in terms of their design and stuff, so I don't feel a whole lot of difference in terms of like tiers is going to be present for them. For the Giganta Giga Super Supreme Godzilla Max version of it, I actually like this version quite a bit. A lot of the Super Giga versions I'm not a big fan of, to be honest. This one I actually like. I'm going to put it here for a second just so I can point to things. I'm a big fan of how it kind of looks like a toad hiding under a mushroom. But it also has emphasized some of the dinosaur-esque parts of the original, like Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur design. Still has got the big whip tentacles, still has the flower motif, almost looks like, well, we'll get to those other ones later. But it has a cool look to it. I don't know if I like it. I think I like it a bit more than this one. It's up here. It's pretty close. Next up, we've got good old Charmander, number 4. I had to double check the number here because there's so many different alternate versions. But yeah, number-wise, still number 4 here. Charmander. I like Charmander. I think, frankly, it's probably my least favorite of the original starters, but that is a close battle for sure. Fun fact, first Pokemon game I ever played was Pokemon Fire Red. And I did choose Charizard/Charmander as my starter, foolishly believing that nobody would think this is the coolest of the 3 starters. I figured this would be the least popular, because I looked at Venusaur, I looked at Blastoise, and I was like, those go hard as fuck. Nobody's gonna like the chubby dragon. I was wrong. People really like the chubby dragon. I will not elaborate further on that. But that being said, I have a soft spot in my heart for these, even though their designs are pretty basic dragon stuff. Charmeleon, I will admit this design has grown on me over the years. I used to really not like it, but it's okay. It goes in the fine category. It gets small smiley face from me. The color difference between it and the other two forms is odd, but I think the thing that makes it odd now is that neither of the Mega forms, and even the Gigamax version, does not like mesh with it very well at all. We have the spike come back in the Mega here, but we don't get the like bright red coloration. I don't hate it. It's interesting at least. Charizard itself also goes in the fine category, I think. Slightly higher. It's okay. Not a huge fan. As for the Mega forms, of which this dude is spoiled and of course gets 2, because turns out I was wrong. Big fan favorite here. I'm gonna say this design is neutral. I don't hate it. It's fine. Well, it's not fine, it's neutral. It's just okay. Everything about it is just Charizard, but amped up. And that's obviously what a Mega is supposed to be. But for me, this Mega actually is kind of, like, bland, I think. If I were to put it in fine, it would be at, like, the very bottom of it. And as for this one, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I actually don't like that version very much. It's, like, typing-wise and stuff, it's kind of interesting, I suppose, but there's something about the permanent fire coming out of the mouth that just, doesn't do it for me. Also, the wings being kind of halfway between tattered and bird feather-like, it just doesn't do it for me. I'm just not a huge fan. But that being said, I do like it more than this. I don't like the Giga Supamax version of Charizard at all. It looks like a reject from a Godzilla knockoff movie to me. The fire's a bit more dramatic, but that's the vibe I get from it. So, I'm sorry. Moving swiftly on before I get beat to death by Charmander fans, we have number 7, Ye Olde Squirtle. Squirtle was my favorite for a long time, until Bulbasaur and Venusaur overtook him. I like turtles quite a bit, and Squirtle himself is certainly my second favorite of the starting evolution guys. And also, I think it's worth noting that Wartortle has moved up significantly here to also be in the light category. They're pretty similar in terms of design. I used to not really like the weird, like, feathery ear things that Wartortle has going on. I know, you know, the artistic kind of origin of them and all that. I understand why they did what they did, but I think that the combination of losing the color, like it just being a very different color from its first stage, combined with that, and some of the old sprites not looking incredible, it just wasn't my favorite. It has seriously grown on me, though, and I am a much bigger fan of it now than I was before. In a similar vein, Blastoise used to be my my favorite starter that ended with my love of Venusaur growing. But I would still put Blastoise up here, for sure. Probably below all of the Venusaurs, to be honest with you. And the Mega form goes right there, right next to him. I don't mind this form. I think the shells on the hands kind of ruin it. I like the very simple turtley look that he has here. But the big single cannon, I think, is fine. Honestly, if you move these guns up to be right next to that one, and maybe put him on all fours. Not like a turtle would be on all fours, you know, but like give him slightly beefier arms and put him on all forms almost like a gorilla. That would go hard. I would be into that. As is, both designs are very good. This is one of the best turtles in the game in terms of design. I like most of the other ones, but this is one of my favorites. There's something very Mario about this design, in my opinion. Very Koopa, Bowser-esque. And that's not a criticism. I like that. I don't really know what's going on with Gigamax Blastoise, to be honest with you. I'm gonna put it in neutral because I don't hate it, but I don't feel any good feelings when I look at it, you know? It's not the worst, but it's certainly not the best. Next up is Caterpie. This is one of the most basic caterpillars of all the caterpillars in the entire franchise, and we love him for that. Caterpie goes into, I think, fine. I like bug types quite a bit. They are one of my favorite types, actually. But I don't think that Caterpie is anywhere near the top of that list. Metapod, as far as the Cocoon Pokemon go, I do actually like this guy. He goes right next to there. I'm fair. You know what? No, we'll put him down here. Put him at the top of neutral. Dominant over all of these other inferior Pokemon, of course. I'm very neutral towards Metapod. I guess that makes sense. It's just a Cocoon. But once again, we have two Butterfrees. If I squint really hard, I bet I could find a difference between them. I don't really care. We're just going to take the first Butterfree that we see here. And I'm not a huge fan of Butterfree. Not going to lie. But I would put Butterfree up slightly above Charizard. I don't know if anybody's ever said that before, actually. Now that I've said it out loud, it does sound kind of insane. But it's how I feel in my soul. I'm sorry. It's, as far as a cartoonified butterfly goes, it's basic, and that's exactly what you wanted from it. I think there are other better variations of it nowadays, but Butterfree gets points for being almost pixie-like, I guess. It almost looks like a fey creature, like a fairy that's going to kidnap your child and replace it with a changeling while making terrible little Pokemon noises. Is this the Gigamax version of Butterfree? Is that a thing? It's really hard to tell what's going on with this one. Let me get real close to my screen. I mean, it doesn't look bad. Oh, it does. It's got little tiny feet and a little chubby body. Okay, that goes kind of hard. Let's put that up there with Butterfree. Also, I didn't look up all the Pokemon before this or anything. This is off the cuff. I just loaded up something that looked like it had roughly 1,025 of these godforsaken creatures, and I was like, let's go. Let's see which ones I still like. So far, we're staying very middle of the road. Pretty much everything so far has been like. And also, I shifted this entire category system. I should have probably said this at the beginning. I'm professional adjacent. But I wanted to make it so that there were at least like 5 categories that were positive, right? I would consider neutral to be the low end of positive, right? Because honestly, I don't really want to be known as the guy who hates a bunch of Pokemon. First off, that feels physically dangerous. Second of all, it's one of those things where I don't have that strong of feelings on them. But there are plenty of designs that I really, really like, and we will get to those here pretty soon. Next up, we got Weedle, which is number 13. I guess I don't really need to list off the number for each. I'll do it when I think about it, and literally never again. I like Weedle more than Caterpie. And honestly, I'm going to put him probably right about here. Now, Weedle goes up in like, actually. I like Weedle. I think Weedle is cute as fuck. I like the double spikes. It really sucked to use when I did use it, but you don't have to stick with it for long, luckily. And we're not here to talk about stats anyway. Look at the little tiny nubbin feet it's got. That's fucking cute. You can't hate that. Go on, try. I dare you. Then we've, of course, got Kakuna here. Kakuna actually goes hard. Like, Kakuna goes right there. And I don't just mean that because the only thing I can do is harden. Kakuna is just actually kind of badass looking. It looks like something you'd see in an H.R. Giger piece of art. It's not quite, like, directly phallic enough, but it's certainly phallic adjacent, and thus perfect for H.R. Giger. It looks like something you'd see attached to a Xenomorph or something, you know? It looks great. And then it turns into Beedrill. I love Beedrill. It's the low end of love, but I do love Beedrill. It is a very good Pokemon. Well, okay. Again, we're not talking stats, so don't at me about this. I like Beedrill a lot. I used Beedrill a fair bit in actually a couple of the Pokemon games I played. The Mega form of Beedrill is actually pretty good. There's something kind of mechanized about it that I don't love, though. I'm a big organics fan just in everything that I consume, so the more mechanical or robotic a thing is, you can guess that I'm going to like it a little bit less, just for the future. And for that reason, I think Mega Beedrill goes at the top of like. I still like the design, but it's just comparatively Pidgey, a neutral. Pidgeot and Pidgeotto and Mega Pidgey, whatever the hell. I'm really sorry, bird fans. I am not a bird fan. If I had to pick between these, I'd probably go like this. I just don't like them. I'm sorry. Pidgey's cute as shit, but the other ones, I feel nothing towards them. They are meaningless to me. Next up, we got Rattata and Eradicate, but we also have their Alolan forms, which, let's do this first. We will cover the Alolan forms at the same time as the generation that they exist within. I think that's just the best way of handling it. We're not going to separate them. Eradicate itself is cute. Its coloration is a little bit odd, honestly. Like, it turns into a normal rat-looking guy, but it's bright purple. Sort of strange. But I will say, I do like it. Big fan of Rattata. Raticate, this is another design. I didn't like Raticate when I was younger all that much. It was kind of generic looking to me, and I wasn't a huge fan. Nowadays, as a cultured gentleman of taste and class, hello, I love this Pokemon. I would honestly almost put it in my favorites, but I think that I'm just going to put it at the top of love instead. The favorites tier, I got to keep that tight. You know, that's got to be reserved for the Pokemon that I would put on an actual team in real life. And let me tell you, when we get to some of the later ones, I am going to get some really mean emails about it. Can't wait for that. Then we get the Alolan forms. I do like Alolan Rattata, a little bit more than the original. Probably the coloration helps. We'll put you pretty. No. We'll put you there. That feels right. But I don't actually like Alolan Raticate too much. It's fine. Probably slightly above Caterpie. You know what? Slightly above him too. But it's not great. I just Then we got Spearow and Fearow, 21 and 22. Once again, these are birds, but they're kind of the reverse of the last birds we talked about. I don't really like this little idiot, but I do like this big idiot a little bit. I would put them, yeah, probably right there. As far as birds go, that one's pretty tolerable. This one, not a fan. Sorry. Of course, we have Ekans and Arbok, infamously Snake and Cobra backwards. This is another interesting one where I do like Arbok. I'm gonna put Arbok up here. Probably right there. But Ekans, it's just fine. Right there. It's fine. It's a little snack. A little danger noodle. No big deal. Now we gotta talk about the mascot of the entire franchise, Pikachu. I don't really love Pikachu itself very much. I'm not going to lie to you. Pichu comes in a later generation, which I forgot about. I guess that's probably fine. I can separate them. That's okay. I don't like Pikachu much, but I don't dislike Pikachu. I do think I'm neutral towards the little rat. The thing is, it is a rodent, right? It might be oversaturated, overhyped, and in my mind, kind of mid, but it is a rodent, and I do love rodents. For that reason, it goes here. Raichu I'm pretty cool with. Raichu and me, we sort of tight. I don't like electric types much, But Raichu's alright. I like that he's a big fat little idiot. That's my thing. One of my things, I guess. The Geiga Supermax version of Pikachu, which rudely just kind of skips over Raichu in general, I don't like this design at all. I wouldn't put in "Ooh, get it away from me" because it is just Pikachu but bigger. But this thing, I'm just gonna say it, guys. I hate to, and you're not gonna like to hear it. This thing feels like something that would be drawn in inflation porn on the internet. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, we're moving on. Next up is this guy. Is this a Alolan Raichu? Or is this Mega Raichu? This is like Jesus Raichu. I don't even know this fucking series anymore. I don't mind it. It's T-posing at me like it's OG. I'm down for that. But moving off of things that are going to get me crucified when the Pokemon fans take over the world at long last, we've got Sandshrew and Sandslash. We'll talk about them together. I like both their designs, actually. Sandslash is one that I love. I love their design. I like clawed things, apparently. But I almost said Sandslew. Sandshrew, this cute little idiot, probably also goes up there, honestly. And I'm just going to say, this guy right here, this dude, this Alolan Sandslash, straight to favorites. That guy's cute as shit. He's a little igloo. He's a little igloo. I love him. I don't like this guy as much. He only goes down here. He does beat out the original rat. Yeah, no, let's be real. The original rat's cute as shit. I don't like him as much. He looks like he's trying too hard. Sandshrew knows what he is, which is cute. Alright? That's my opinion on that. Let's see here. We've got number 29. Yep, Nidoran. The whole Nidoqueen and the Nidoking line separated entirely by biological sex. Let's see. Nidoran, I'm pretty on, honestly. As far as rodents go, I don't love this form too much. In fact, I would argue that both Nidoran and Nidorina are kind of like down here. Well, they're above the bird, let's be real here. And they're above this thing. Yeah, there we go. That feels right. I don't hate them, but they're pretty mid. Nidoqueen, I like Nidoqueen. I would put Nidoqueen at the top of fine. Not the biggest fan of her overall design. It's a little bit softer than I would have liked compared to how spiky the males are. But really, compared to how spiky this one is, like Nidorina is. As for Nidoran, I like Nidoran more than these two. I would probably put this guy around... there. And I would put this guy right below him. I do actually like Nidoran a bit more than Nidorino. Now, Nidoking scrapes by into the bottom of like tier, just above the Raichus. I do like him quite a bit. And it's funny, because when I played through, I didn't really like his stats as much as Nidoqueen, so I use Nidoqueen more. But design-wise, presentation-wise, I like Nidoking quite a bit. I don't know what it is. I've had a soft spot for him for a long time. So we've got Clefairy and Clefable down here. Let me just get these guys up here so they're both together. They're not going to stay in Ooh, get it away from me. Probably. But maybe. No. Clefairy goes up to the bottom of neutral. Clefable, I actually do not like Clefable, I will say that. But I like Clefable more than the rest of these things. They're just not my cup of tea. Call me basic, but Jigglypuff from later on gets my little pink idiot seal of approval. Clefable and Clefairy just don't. I don't know what it is, I just find them really uninteresting. As opposed to that, we've got Vulpix, we've got Ninetales, we've got Vulpix again, and we got Ninetales again. So, Vulpix is fine. Vulpix goes probably right around here. It's an okay Pokemon. Man, we are going to run out of space so fast on this list. Jesus Christ, there's 1,000 of these things. Alolan Vulpix, I will say, about the same. Pretty close. Probably like that, honestly. But when it comes to Ninetales, Normal Ninetales is fine. Normal Ninetales is one of the prettier Pokemon, especially from the first generation. It's not my pick for the prettiest out of the first generation, we'll get there later, but it is up there, it is pretty good. But Alolan Ninetales, that goes up here, buddy. That goes right around there. I really, really like Alolan Ninetales' vibe. Their whole design is cool. Big fan. Next we got Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. Jigglypuff, of course, the Hungry Box special, as it were, the melee-dominating monster that she is, or he. I like Jigglypuff's design a little bit, but at best it is fine. It is the little pink idiot that I approve of slightly more than Clefable and Clefairy. I actually like Wigglytuff, though. I would put Wigglytuff at the very, very bottom of like. I guess I have a thing for little idiot rodents, don't I, huh? That's going to change as we go through, don't you worry. Everything's going to change by the end of this. This is stupid what I'm doing. Alright. Alright. Next up we got Zubat and Golbat. I fucking love Zubat. Alright, this is another design that has grown on me over the years. That bitch is going straight to the top. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, I resized. That should be good. Hopefully pausing it didn't break anything. Yeah, so Zubat goes to the top. Big fan of Zubat. He's really grown on me over the years. Golbat really has not. I think Golbat probably sits somewhere around, like, here. No. Probably around here. I just don't like Golbat as much. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. Everything is fucked. One moment. Okay. I rearranged things on my end yet again, so that I could bring up some more of the Pokemon. There we go. So this is the Oddish line, moving off of Golbat, who we will be revisiting in a later generation, but for now, we've got the Oddish line. Oddish itself, Pikmin adjacent. Pikmin adjacent means that this bad little idiot goes all the way to the top of A tier. I love this Pokemon's design. Got those little cute feet, that dumb little face, and this wild grass hair. Huge fan. Gloom. Don't ask what's coming out of his mouth or going into it. I also love Gloom, albeit less than Oddish. I think that Gloom is pretty cool. And Vileplume goes up there as well. All three of these Pokemon are very cute. There's a certain consistency to them across all three versions that I like quite a bit. I think if I had to pick between them, obviously Oddish is top, but if I had to pick between these two, it is a difficult choice. And also, as a note of interest, this is definitely like a gender difference in the game, because they've got different size spots, but yeah. As far as between these two, it is difficult to choose. They're both great. I love how sleepy this guy looks, and I love how it kind of looks like he's wearing a big hat. I like big hats. Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. Now we're getting into the really controversial stuff. Buckle up. Paris and Parasect. Paris, little idiot, straight to the, well, not top, but straight towards the top of A tier. Probably around there. But Parasect, I love that guy. I hear you in the comments. I hear you. You're screaming. You're saying, times 4 weakness, dies to anything, literally unusable. I know. I know. I used to play Pokemon Showdown. I did double battles. I tried to get any kind of value I could out of the dude. He's not good. I love him anyway. The whole thing about Parasect and Paris is that the mushrooms are basically, let's say, parasitizing and consuming the insect Pokemon that they are attached to. You see, in this version, Paris has like these little eyes that see and know, but Parasect's eyes are blanked out white, as though it's dead. Pretty cool stuff. I like it. Very realistic to something that happens in real life. Big fan. I will say, people have come up with a lot of ideas for how to kind of rescue this line. Maybe giving it Ghost type would be cool or something. It's not super important to me if they ever do that. I will always just love Parasect. I think his design slaps super hard. Where are we at? We're at number 48 now. That's Venonat and Venomoth. Cool stuff. Venomoth, we'll start with Venomoth because this one goes into the fine tier. I like it a little bit more than Caterpie. Butterfree, sorry. But Venomoth is still, it's a moth, it's cool. I like moths in real life, they're neat. Now Venonat. Venonat goes up here. I love this little idiot. Look at him. He doesn't look like anything. You know what he looks like? He looks like the old Honeycombs mascot from back in the 90s. Look that shit up. That's what he looks like. Next, we've got the Digs. Diglett and Dugtrio. Let's separate these based off of generation. Diglett itself, I like Diglett. Diglett is a little mole idiot. That is definitely not phallic at all. Where would I put Diglett is kind of a difficult choice. I think right around here. No. Not above Kakuna. Definitely below Kakuna. As for Dugtrio, this is one of the more often mocked versions of Pokemon evolution. I think it's fine. I would definitely put it into the fine category, probably around here. No. Dugtrio goes above Charizard, easy. It is kind of funny that they were like, what if Diglett, but 3 of him? So, I don't hate it. As for the Alolan Digs and Dugs, I'm not a huge fan of them for myself to use. Like, I would personally not use these. But I will say that Alolan Diglett probably goes around here, and Alolan Dugtrio, because of the fantastic locks, does make it into like. I think that Alolan Dugtrio is at least memeable, and that is, that's good enough for me sometimes. Next up, we've got another somewhat famous Pokemon here. Apologies, I have 8,000 different variations of this guy to sort through, apparently. God, I don't even know how to separate these all. So we've got Meowth, and we've got Alolan Meowth, and Persian. There we go. And then Alolan Persian. I thought this guy belonged to a different line entirely. I don't really know why he's here, and the others are not. Let's just move him down for now. We'll deal with that later. Then we've got the Giga version. So, Meowth itself, as far as the cat Pokemon in the game goes, very neutral to this guy. I like cats in real life. I have a cat, and I don't mind some of the other ones. In fact, Persian, I would argue, goes up probably somewhere around here. Honestly, well, maybe below normal Raichu. Split the T-posing boys up. But when it comes to these two, Alolan Meowth got some sass, got some attitude. I like it a bit more than normal Meowth. Once again, everything is fucked. You know what? Pause. Unpause. Alright. Hopefully this isn't too small to see, but, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know Pokemon, and you probably don't need to look at them to know. At this stage, I'm just going to have to scroll down and pull them up. So, Alolan Meowth goes above normal Meowth, but Alolan Persian, I don't like. Not going to lie to you. Goes straight to the dislike pile. And, again, not going to lie, Alolan Giga Super Meowth stays straight in the F tier. I don't like it. I get it's like Long Cat. It's like the ancient memes from the good old days when we were young and didn't have real problems. But I don't care. I don't like it very much. And again, I'm not 100% certain where the rest of this guy is, so banished to the beyond. You know what? No, just stay there. So then we got Golduck and Psyduck. I said it backwards, but you know what I'm talking about, of course. This is 54 and 55. Goddamn, we're like a third of the way through, and it's been half an hour. Christ almighty, there's 1,000 of these things. So Psyduck, old fan favorite. I like Psyduck, actually. I'm not a huge fan of Psyduck. I would put it here. Maybe there. Psyduck is fine. Psyduck is funny. Being funny is important. Okay? to me. Golduck, I actually like Golduck's design, especially because Golduck is somewhat based off of a platypus, conceptually. I know it's mostly a duck, I get it, but there's a little bit of platypus in there. And I could do with a platypus Pokemon. I wouldn't say I love it, but I do think I like it up here. It's pretty good. Pretty consistently good. Now, we've got Mankey and Primeape. Right? That's what these are called? Yes. Mankey is a monkey, and monkeys are great. Mankey goes into the upper echelon of fine tier, while Primeape languishes merely in the top of neutral. I simply just cannot bother to care. As opposed to that, we've got our next contestants here, which are, of course, the Arcanine line. Normal little puppy Arcanine, Growlithe. Love this fucking guy. He goes up here. Arcanine itself, this is one of, I would consider to be my more basic picks. But I do actually love Arcanine. He's a big, fluffy doggo. I would put him up there. And like I said, that's one of my more basic picks. A lot of my favorites are, I feel, somewhat controversial. Except, of course, the little Sandslash, but Igloo form, he's cute. Yeah, as for these two, I don't like them nearly as much. I don't mind this Arcanine, I will say. I would say that I like this Arcanine. Probably around... maybe around there. But this Growlithe, neutral. Neutral at best. Just not a fan. I don't know what it is. It's too floofy, perhaps? Not sure. The cardinal sin of too much floof. Not enough boof. Now, Poliwhirl. I like the Poliwhirl line. Poliwag, cute as shit. That goes up into the love category. Huge fan. Poliwhirl, actually probably my least favorite of the three. I would put Poliwhirl merely in the fine. Probably around here. No. Honestly, probably down here with Golbat. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Poliwrath, though, goes straight back up into the love. He's towards the bottom. I like how angry he is, though. The little frog idiot that is angry, big fan of that. Can't complain. The next line, the Abracadabra, Alakazam line. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta get... okay, I know that there's, like, gender differences there. We gotta get the big mustache haver, though. Let's be real. In fact, I don't know why they made mustaches how they determine different sexes with this Pokemon. I don't care. Has it got a little white spot on his nose? Is that new? I don't remember that. Either way, Abra is also cute as shit. And, as we all know, the entire Alakazam line is based off of occult imagery, famously, as all of the Christian parents were talking about back in the old days, so they get points for being metal as fuck. R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. Kadabra is definitely my least favorite of this entire line, I will say. Because Kadabra goes... oh, man, where would I put Kadabra? The top of fine. Almost alike. I don't mind it, but it's not quite there. Alakazam? Alakazam does make it into the like, and actually kind of dominates there. But as for Super Wizard Alakazam, Mega Alakazam, yeah, I mean, it's a wizard, guys. It's my whole thing. I would actually probably put it right below Beedrill. That feels safe. God, okay. I can't fix the screen anymore at this point, I don't think, to be more convenient for you guys, so you're just gonna have to take my word on who we're talking about. Machop? Neutral. Don't super care about Machop. Now, Machoke is okay. A little bit higher. Probably up here. Still in neutral, but that's fine. And then, I actually think Machamp is kinda cool. This one goes into fine, and probably pretty high up here, honestly. Yeah, probably like right there. Having 4 arms is a bonus. I like things with a weird number of limbs. I guess I could maybe stretch it down to try and fit all the No, there's no way. It's just, there's too many Pokemon, guys. Complain to them, not me. As for Giga Super Supremo Max version of Machamp, it's about the same. As far as, like, the Giga versions go, it's just him but big with red. Or orange, I guess. That's fine. It's whatever. Okay, nobody be scared, but I have to scroll now. Let's pull these guys up. And then we can scroll back up. Don't be scared. It's okay. In fact, we need to, let's just move these guys up to the middle while we talk about them. Right. What number are we on? 69? Hell yeah. Bellsprout is S tier. Absolute top tier Pokemon. It's a Pikmin with a little faucet mouth and little tiny root feet. You can at me if you must, but it will not change my feelings. I love Bellsprout. The other two, take them or leave them. Alright. I think Victory Bell goes into the love category. Pretty low, but I do love Victory Bell's design, being like a pitcher plant. Weepin' Bell, that's the blowjob Pokemon. It is, at best, kind of fine. Goes like right there, I think. It's going, ah! So that's bonus points, but I just, can't do it, you know? Let's bring Tentacool and Tentacruel up. Scroll back up. Try not to go too fast. Tentacruel goes into S tier, actually. This is one of my favorite Pokemon in the video game. Probably not my favorite water type, but definitely up there. Probably top 3, top 5 maybe. I think Tentacruel's design is really neat. It's sort of jellyfish meets octopus meets like beaked abomination. It's very Lovecraftian. And the fact that it's water poison helps because I love poison types. Huge fan. Tentacool is just Tentacruel but less, so it gets less of my love and goes into the lower A category. I do like it, but it's just less than Tentacruel. I mean, how can you compete? I know I could not compete with my older, stronger, superior form when I was but a wee idiot child. Alright, so now we've got the, speaking of little idiots, the little idiot rock boys time to shine. So, once again, what are we at here? Geodude, yeah, 74. Geodude is okay. Geodude is fine. I would put Geodude kind of low in fine, right around there. I do not really like Graveler much, but I don't hate Graveler. Graveler probably stays where he is, honestly. And as for Golem, this might be a little bit controversial. I kind of like Golem. I put him right about there. I do agree that it is a very jarring transition between these three forms, but I kind of like Golem. I think Golem looks like a fun dude. You could have a beer with him and he would probably not say any slurs. 10 out of 10 dude, frankly. As for the Alolan forms, I mean, Alolan Geodude is just normal Geodude, but grayer and with darker outline stuff. That's fine. He's fine. It's fine. Alolan Graveler is just Graveler, but with slightly more stuff going on, and I don't like all of it. So he stays in fine, but doesn't go anywhere else. Now, Alolan Golem goes right down in here. I hate him. I don't like him. I dislike him, I would say. I'm sorry if you like him. Don't at me. Or do at me, but do it politely. I'm fine with that. Rapidash, My Little Pony. Rapidash, My Little Pony. So, I'm not a huge horse guy. I live on a farm. I've been around horses too much to enjoy their company anymore. But I will say, as far as adding in, basically a unicorn Pokemon was concerned, this was a pretty cool way of doing it. I don't usually associate unicorns with fire. So, frankly, kind of a cool thing. Really. A cool decision to make. Maybe it was a reference to Last Unicorn. When did that come out? Wasn't that early 80s? I don't remember. Because the unicorn in that fights like a big fuck-off cow made of flames, I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched that movie in a while, can you tell? But let's get started here with Ponyta. Ponyta is fine. It's just a horse that's on fire at the end of the day, and while there's nothing wrong with that, it doesn't blow me away. So it goes down here. Rapidash, I actually do like Rapidash, okay? I think Rapidash's design is pretty neat overall. It's kind of badass, kind of pretty, a decent combination of things to be and have. I would put it right below Kakuna. Alolan or fairy form Ponyta. This one I actually don't like all that much. I don't hate it, but I do think it's a little bit worse than the original. A little bit too much going on there. But this one is cool. This one is fine. I think my daughter would strangle me to death in my sleep if I put this anywhere except the light category anyway, so I am actually going to put it a little bit above the original Rapidash. I like it slightly more. Pretty cool stuff. Also, it's very close to the trans flag color, so that's always nice to see. That's a good color palette. Okay. What the heck is this? I don't even know what this guy is. Oh well, we'll include him. No shame in these parts. I feel like we're missing one of the Slowbros. Oh well, whatever. I didn't make the list. We're just doing our best with what we got here, alright? Slowpoke is number 79. Now, Slowpoke is a little pink idiot, and this one also gets my seal of approval. In fact, this, I would say, goes here-ish. This version of Slowpoke I don't recognize, and I don't like yellow. It goes here. But this one I recognize, alright. This guy, Slowbro, these, all three of them, pretty cool stuff. This Slowbro goes probably around right here. I like this one quite a bit. I don't know if I love it, but I think I like it a little bit more than Slowpoke. This one has grown on me. I used to think this one was a bit too silly. But I think nowadays it has grown on me enough to stay in the like category. Probably around here. It's not my favorite, but it's cool. I think that maybe if they were a bit more creative with the shell design, it would be neat. Yeah, maybe if it looked like it was encrusted in the shells that consumed its entire body, that would be dope. As it is, it's fine. It's mid. Let's get Magnetite and Magneton in there. Magnetite itself, like I said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of the more robotic-y types. So Magnetite is kind of doomed from the get-go. I'm neutral towards it. And honestly, Magneton I don't really love. I like Magnezone. When we get to Magnezone, I'm not opposed to that one. But Magnetite and Magneton are a little bit to me. I would put them right there. I think that's a pretty good place for them. I'm neutral. It's not that I don't like them, it's just that I don't care. So we got Farfetch'd and Angrier Farfetch'd, the emo Farfetch'd, as it were. Farfetch'd goes at the very bottom of like. I don't hate it. It is a bird. Actually, it is a bird. Never mind, it goes at the top of fine. Honestly, looking at the top of fine here, I can't believe I was going to put Farfetch'd higher than that stuff, frankly. Come to that, this version of Slowpoke, whatever the hell it's supposed to be, actually goes down here. It's fine, but compared to the others, compared to like stuff up here, nah. Emo Farfetch'd, don't know much about it. Know what kind of music it listens to. I would put it probably around the same level as the normal Farfetch'd. I just have no real strong opinions on it. It's fine. I like Farfetch'd well enough, but fine. Let's get Doduo and Dodrio up here, or Dodrio, or Dodrio, however you want to say it. As far as birds go, I do actually love Doduo. I love Doduo quite a bit. It's a little idiot two-headed bird, big fan. Dodrio I don't like quite as much, honestly. It's It goes like here-ish, probably. Yeah, no. Lower than that. Probably a slightly above Diglett, I think. It's not awful, but it ain't great. It's just a three-headed bird. Hard for me to get excited about that. Alright, let's get into Seal and Dugong. Seal is just a seal. I'm very neutral towards Seal. But when it comes to Dugong, I like Dugong a little bit more. It is also just a seal-adjacent creature, but it's prettier, and thus it gets pretty privilege and gets to go up there. Seal should really look into looks maxing to increase its chance of, I don't know, not being an incel. Fuck, I can't keep track of all these terms. I'm sorry. Let's talk about some real Pokemon now, though. We got Grimmer, we got Muck, we got Alolan Grimmer, and also Alolan Muck. Or, if you prefer, Grimer and Muck. I like Grimer more, but people say Grimmer, and I've just kind of adopted that. Original Grimer is a favorite, and Alolan Muck is a favorite. This guy goes pretty high, honestly. Probably around there. Original Muck does make it into love, and Alolan Grimer also does, because look how fucking happy he is. How can you put him outside of A tier? He deserves it. He's happy. I'm jealous of him. We're going to put you right around here, and we're going to put the original Muck probably goes around here. I like my poison types. I like my big, goopy piles of filth and garbage. If you don't know that about me, you'll soon figure that out. Alright, let's get this out of the way. This one, Cloyster, it doesn't look appropriate for children, alright? We're not going to talk about it past that point. I'm pretty neutral on both of these. I honestly don't know. I think I would put this one here, and Cloyster would be about here. I don't like it being next to Metapod, actually. We're going to put it there. There we go. It's just very neutral. They're just decent little Pokemon. Their designs aren't terrible, but they don't exactly wow me. Now we've got 8,000 different forms of Gengar to go through, of course, because he's a popular one. Ghastly. Let's put Ghastly up in the love tier. I love Ghastly. It's very cute. It's just a little ball of gas. How can you go wrong with that? You can't. It's impossible. Haunter. Haunter goes up into the favorites, baby. Let's go. I love Haunter's design. I like things that have, like, a head with floaty hands. I don't know why. Now that I've said it out loud, it feels strange. Is that strange? Whatever. Gengar, meanwhile, he goes into the love category, but he's pretty close to the bottom, frankly. Gengar's design as a cute, chubby little idiot is cool. And that's about it. Mega Gengar, controversial take here. At best, it's fine. I'd put it like around here, honestly. It is Gengar, but more and spikier, and I'm fine with that, but it doesn't blow me away. You know what I mean? Next up, we've got Giga Super Gigamax Gengar of legend and lore. I initially hated this one. And I still don't love it, but I will put it into the neutral tier at the bottom, rather than the dislike tier, because what the mouth reminds me of is like a fun house. You know, like that you would see at like a carnival or a fair or something. And if you take that as what it's kind of meant to look like and be, it is kind of cool. It is like, it fits the vibe, right? It captures the essence of that concept pretty well. That being said, that's about it. I don't like it very much. Onix. I'm fine with Onix. I am fine with Onix. I'm sorry for all the Onix slander that I've said over the years, because it sucks as a Pokemon. But I like Onix, okay? Design-wise, it's just a big rockworm snake. I'm into that. I'm fine with that. It reminds me of a movie that I watched as a kid. And let me know in the comments if you've ever seen this. It's free on YouTube, or it was a while ago. But it was called Gallivants. And it's the most batshit insane premise for a movie ever, wherein ant people get special bumps on their butts to illustrate that they are adults, and it allows them to choose a workforce to take part in. And there is a giant two-headed snake worm monster that tries to eat what is an egg, but that one of the characters thinks is supposed to be his butt bump. This tangent, I feel, is career destroying, so I'm going to end it now. But look it up, Gallivants. If you've seen it, please let me know. I need to know it wasn't a fever dream I had. Ugh. Either way, it reminds me of the two-headed worm snake thing. Moving on. Moving on to the child-touching Pokemon. Drowsy and Hypno. Drowsy, I'm a big fan of Drowsy. Drowsy does not get enough love and attention, but it's a little tapir. It's a little taper. I love he's got a little snoot. He got little hands. What for the touching? I'm not gonna say that again. He's cool. Hypno, I don't like Hypno. I'm sorry. I don't mind Hypno's design, but I just don't like Hypno very much. Being based around hypnosis as a Pokemon is kind of lame. It's like, yeah, if you look at the coin on my string, then you will become under my power. Meanwhile, every other psychic type in the game can just be like, hey, I looked at you, now you're under my power. You're not even cool, Hypno. You suck at the one terrible thing you're meant to do. But as for Krabby here, what number is Krabby? 98, so we're almost to 100. Hell yeah. Krabby is okay. Krabby is pretty good. I like crabs. Don't take that out of context. Krabby goes right here, slightly below the monkey. Now, Kingler, I love me some Kingler. Kingler goes all the way... where to? Probably around here. Kingler's one of the few Pokemon that I look at and I'm like, damn, I wish you were better so that I could use you. And I think that as far as Gigamax forms go, Kingler has one of the better ones. I don't know if I love it. I think I just like it, but I do like it. Probably around there. Because it is just big, bearded crab. And I think the beard is supposed to be like water bubbles or something, which is a real thing with crabs, and that's pretty cool. Let's get these guys up here. I don't even know. Why are these, like, sandy colored? Whatever. Yeah, this is Voltorb and Electrode, which is 99, or sorry, is 100 and 101, respectively. Voltorb, I actually don't mind Voltorb. Voltorb is fine. Electrode, ew. I don't like its face. It's almost okay, but it's better than this. Like, these, I don't like these. What are these? These are bad. I don't like them. I like Voltorb, though. I think it's fine. Kind of a weird Pokemon in general to have created, I feel. But what multi-bajillion-dollar game have I made lately, right? Now, as opposed to that, this little orb idiot looks dumb, but of course this little egg-shaped idiot, that goes straight up into the love tier, baby. Let's go. Big fan of Execute, which is quite the mouthful. I also like Executor. I would consider Executor to be top billing for one of my more preferred Pokemon, probably around here. Alolan Executor, I don't like quite as much. It's like a palm tree, but yeah, it doesn't quite do it for me, unfortunately. I think they could have done something a bit more creative with the idea. Because, like, Executor is already a very creative design. It's very weird and out there, which is, of course, why Pokemon fans hate it. They want creativity, but within specific boxes. But Alolan Executor, it's just, yeah, what if Executor but long neck? And my answer to that is mid. I'm sorry. Cubone, Marowak, Alolan Cubone, and Alolan Marowsmack. Alright, so I am a fan of these little guys. They're little dinosaurs with a sad backstory, and I mean, very few things tug at my heartstrings quite like that, although Pixar managed to fuck it up with The Good Dinosaur, so it is always possible to make me hate the things I love, I guess. Thank you, Earth. I think Marowak probably goes around here. We're finally splitting up the dream team here. I like Marowak a little bit more than Squirtle, but not quite as much as these two. Or, Cubone, sorry. Marowak, on the other hand, about the same, honestly. They're very similar designs. There's not a huge difference. It's just like, what if Cubone, but badass? And that's fine. As for this, wait, is this just two versions of the same thing? Oop, I didn't mean to do that then. My bad. I was not paying close enough attention. So, Alolan Marowak here, a little bit biased, because I love me some ghost types. I love me some like weird, seemingly dead fellas. Goes right there. Or, you know what, no, like right there. I do like Bulbasaur and Venusaur and Ivysaur quite a bit. Let's see here. So we got Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, references to Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan respectively. Back in my youth, Hitmonlee was my favorite, and Hitmonchan I did not like at all. This has mostly remained unchanged. Hitmonlee is a favorite of mine, narrowly beating out Haunter, one of the few fighting types that I enjoy quite a bit. However, Hitmonchan has moved up in my estimation. I would consider myself a fan of Hitmonchan. I'm not going to be rhyming the rest of this video, I apologize for that. And I would put Hitmonchan probably slightly below Kakuna. I like boxing. I'm actually kind of a boxing fan, so Hitmonchan gets some points for that. I'm not like a modern boxing fan though. I'm like early era boxing fan, like some kind of hideous nerd freak. But Hitmonlee is overall still my favorite. I like his stretchy legs. I like how weird Hitmonlee looks, right? Like Hitmonlee looks like a Pokemon. Hitmonchan looks like a person that made a Pokemon as their OC. That's my takeaway. You know, Hitmonlee has that look. There were stories that came back with Marco Polo about people whose faces were in their, like, torsos. Like, in their chests, instead of nips, you would have eyes. That kind of thing. He has that kind of look to him, with weak little hands and big kicky feet. Big fan. Let's see here. We got Lickitung. Huh, I forgot Lickitung was in this generation. And then, of course, we've got my boys over here. We'll talk about them in a second. I'm just bringing them up because Lickitung is a one and done. Lickitung's evolution is in a different generation, as I am now remembering. But Lickitung itself is fine. I would put it around here, I think. I do like its design. It has kind of a... I don't know how to describe this. A snail mixed with a piece of bubble gum vibe to him. And also, you know what? He's got Adventure Time vibes. And that's points. You know what? I've convinced myself. Lickitung goes all the way up, well, not above Weepinbell, but here we go. We've got the oral duo there. Next up is Coughing and Wheezing, along with Alolan Wheezing. Coughing is fine. He's an orb boy, but he's a poison orb boy, so I'm not a huge fan. He would sit probably above Graveler and above Jigglypuff and below Caterpie. I do like Wheezing a lot. This is one of the few instances where mashing two of the same things together actually works really well, I think. Because Wheezing is a poison type, so this sort of like abominable mutation feels very in line with what Wheezing is. And I do actually love Wheezing quite a bit. I don't love Wheezing as much as Muck, or the Muck line, I should say. But, I mean, definitely up there. And Alolan Wheezing honestly gets bonus points. I think I like Alolan Wheezing a little bit more. They probably sit closer to Victory Bell there, overall. I like the idea that I've seen mentioned a few times, I think I read it on the Bogleech site, that the Wheezing line represents, you know, aerial poison, like air pollution, while the Muck and Grimmer line represents water pollution, and then later on we get to Garbodor, which represents like physical trash and like earth pollution. I like that sort of triumvirate they've got going on with that idea. Next up, we've got Ol Rhyhorn and Rhydon. It's always weird to me that this doesn't have a third evolution. I don't know why. Either way, though, Rhyhorn I like a bit more. Rhyhorn goes right about here. And Rhydon I don't hate, but they go right around here. Just not a huge fan. I don't have super strong feelings about them. Not quite neutral. Actually, you know what? This guy, I am neutral. I was looking at, like, all the other Pokemon in this tier. I'm like, no, he's neutral. He's down here. It's fine. I like Rhyhorn, though. A little bit. Rhyhorn's neat. We got Chansey and Tangela. We'll just bring them both up. So Chansey, what are we at? 113? Yeah. Chansey has grown on me, and is another little pink idiot that gets a green card from me to join the land of the free. God bless America. I like its little egg. Probably like that. Tangela, though. Tangela, my boy. You go all the way up there. You sit among kings today, Tangela. Look at your little feet. Look at your little eyes. Look at your writhing mass of vines or possibly intestines. Big fan of Tangela. Or Tangela, however you want to pronounce it. I'm sure you will correct me in the comments. So, next we got Kangaskhan. Or Kangaskhan, however you want to pronounce that. Don't at me, please. The original Kangaskhan design and the Mega are the identical versions of each other, but the baby is out of the pouch in one. So, fine. I'm pretty neutral on both of these, to be honest with you. They are towards the top of neutral, and I like that their Mega is not too different from their normal form. But they just don't do a whole lot for me, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's honestly kind of impressive they've never gone back and made the little pouch baby its own Pokemon that turns into a Kangaskhan. I admire their sense of, like, restraint when it comes to that. It seems like a really easy money grab thing they could do. Money grab Pokemon. Can't imagine. Okay, so Horsey. Horsey is neutral, because it is just a seahorse. That's it. It's not bad, though. But Seadra is a little bit cooler, and Seadra does get into the kind of lower part of fine. A lot of water types are going to end up in the fine and neutral category, because a lot of them are just a thing. You know, they're just like, I am a fish. And it's like, that's very cool for you. I'm glad that you're a fish. Speaking of which, Goldeen. Goldeen is a very pretty fish, so it does get into the fine category, but it's not anything in particular that I care about. Maybe I'm biased because playing Super Smash Bros. And throwing a Pokeball and getting a Goldeen was the worst thing that could happen to you. It just felt bad. But Goldeen is okay. Sea King is a little bit better. I'm kind of a Sea King fan. It's still in the fine category, but I would put it a bit higher. Sea King feels like one of those ones where there's going to be some serious Sea King fans out there that really love that Pokemon, and then a lot of people who are like, that's a Pokemon? Huh. Staryu and Starmie are not in that same category. They are freaks, and I love them for it. I will say Staryu is a little bit bland by comparison, probably goes around here, but Starmie does get up into the like category. Actually, you know what? No. I think Starmie goes all the way up here somewhere. Probably around... not quite that high. Like here. There we go. Being a water type, like, psychic freak, you know, a seahorse that uses brain-controlling hyper beams. Pretty neat. Big fan of that. I don't know what words I just said, but I'm a fan of them. Then we got Mr. Mime, and the less cool Mr. Mime. I don't like this Mr. Mime. I don't know why. It's got too much energy, but the wrong kind of energy. You know? Does that make sense? This one goes down here below Hypno. Mr. Mime, on the other hand... Mr. Mime, welcome to the big leagues. You go all the way around... You know what? There. You go right around there. I like Mr. Mime. He's a little freak. I like freaks. Depending on what kind of freak, I suppose. That's a contextual statement. We'll grab these two because they are both so low right now, for now. Scyther is cool. Who doesn't like the Scythe bug? I'm pretty sure Scyther used to be really terrible, but became a lot better later. As I've gotten older, these dramatic, badass-looking bugs have gotten less cool to me. But I would still put him above a Diglett. And as for Jinx, Jinx has a bit of a troubled history with her original design, a troubled history with her typing, and a troubled history with her usefulness in pretty much any context. I can't say I like Jinx. I think Jinx goes probably right around here. Honestly, right there. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put you. Then we've got Electabuzz and Magmar, who are kind of like cousins from other mothers, which I guess makes sense if you're cousins. Brothers from other mothers, then. That makes a bit more sense. I don't really like either of them much, but I'm only really neutral towards them. I like their evolutions. Actually, you know what? No, I don't like Magmar. I'm sorry, Magmar. Electabuzz is an idiot, but you're like a super idiot. I like their evolutions. We'll get there eventually. Pinsir. Mega Pinsir. Like I said, badass looking bugs have kind of faded out of my life a bit. But I do still love Pinsir. Well, I don't know about love, but I do like Pinsir. A little bit more than Weedle. Mega Pinsir, on the other hand, again, kind of a hot take here. I don't really like this guy very much. I'd put him there. Very neutral on Mega Pinsir. Can't say I'm a huge fan. Now, for some reason, there are 3 different, what appear to be Alolan Tauruses, and I don't know why, so we're going to rate each of them. Because they might not be Alolan, they might be like something else. Normal Tauros is cow, but with tails, and that's fine. These ones, this one kind of has a buffalo vibe, which I don't hate. That one also goes in fine. This one has a sort of Texas Longhorn vibe, which I don't like, so I'm going to put that in neutral. And I don't even know what's going on with this guy's horns. He appears to be like jumping, which I assume is him charging to kill me. I don't like it though. I'm going to put him down here. Probably, no, at the bottom. Got a nice spread of cows going on. Alright, Magikarp. Gyarados. Mega Gyarados. Alright, Magikarp. Everybody loves Magikarp. Magikarp is badass. Magikarp knows one move and knows it well. Gyarados. Oh man, I'm so sorry about this, fans of Gyarados, but I just don't like Gyarados. I've never liked Gyarados. I don't like Mega Gyarados either. I think I like it more than the birds and Giga Super Charizard, but I don't fuck with Gyarados. And I'm sorry about that. But next up we've got her. We've got the one, guys. Lapras. My pick for the prettiest Pokemon in the game. I like Lapras. I think Lapras is dope. I don't even hate Lapras's Giga form, and I don't really like most Giga forms. It's still down here, slightly above Gengar. Actually, no, it's probably more like there. But that's how much I like Lapras, is I'm willing to put up with this thing. Lapras is cool. I like that Lapras was going extinct for a while. There weren't very many of them, and now they're a bit more common. That's cool, due to like human conservation efforts. Neat, good stuff, good message. Typing is fine. Decent Pokemon. Beating the Elite Four with that fucking thing. Hell yeah. Alright, Ditto is next, huh? Interesting. Alright, so Ditto. Ditto is number 132. I thought Ditto was later on for some reason. Ditto... Let's get you up here, Ditto. Let's sit you among gods and kings alike. I think Ditto is cool. As far as gooey monsters go, Ditto's one of the best. Would I ever use Ditto? No. But I like looking at Ditto. and imagining kind of like squishing Ditto in my hands, you know, like a chewed up piece of bubblegum. Yeah. Let's see here. Next up is the EVs. So this is going to be a bit of a whole discussion, I think. Let's just put you there for now. That's not where I'm putting Giga Eevee, but Eevee itself is, well, neutral, actually. I don't hate Eevee. I think it deserves the top spot in neutral. It's fine-ish, like it's fine adjacent. But I don't love it at all. Jolteon, I outright dislike its design a little bit. And I'm sorry about that for Jolteon fans. I know you're out there. Now, Flareon is a fine design. In fact, Flareon probably goes up here. I like... Flareon looks like the kind of pet you could have that would be supremely fluffy. And then we... Let's talk about Giga Eevee first. Giga Eevee goes right next to normal Eevee because it is just Eevee but big. With even floofier tail, and I'm fine with that. That's honestly... But frankly, it's probably the best thing Game Freak has designed in a long time. That's probably throwing shade at them, I'm sorry. Vaporeon, guys, don't do the copy pasta, alright? I've read it, I know. But Vaporeon was my favorite before I learned all of those very interesting facts about the Pokemon, alright? I like Vaporeon because I like water, and I like water types, and I like its little fishy tail. It's very fishy looking. Very fishy to learn anything about, too. Porygon. I guess we kind of have to talk about Porygon by itself. Of course, it is a non-organic Pokemon. I don't mind it for what it is. It's number 137. Oh, we're almost done. There is a version of Porygon I like, but this version stays down here. I think it loses to the birds. I'm not convinced it has the soul to be a good Pokemon. Get it? Because it's a machine. Yeah, we'll just talk about these two by themselves. Ammonite and Amistar. Ammonite is a little cutie. It's fine. I would put it probably around here. Yeah, probably like right here. But Omastar I actually like quite a bit. I think Omastar probably goes up here. Again, it kind of has a Cthulhu-y vibe to it. A little bit of like cosmic horror sort of going on. And that is neat to me. Don't have a whole lot to say about that. I talk a lot about the ones that I like, and less about the ones that I don't really care about. Kabuto and Kabutops. I'm actually very neutral towards Kabutop's design. I'm not going to lie to you. It's okay. There's so many things you could do with ancient Pokemon like these. And this feels like kind of a cop-out. Kabuto's a little bit better, because it kind of looks like a Trilobite. And that's neat. I think I like it a little bit more than Ammonite there. Probably more than any of you guys as well, frankly. Probably up here-ish. Yeah. No. Perfect. Alright. Let's get to these fellas here. Aerodactyl. Almost forgot the name there for a second. I don't love Aerodactyl. Very neutral towards Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl? I don't like Mega Aerodactyl. I don't have much else to say. I've never been a huge fan of pterodactyls in general, or pteranodons, or any variation thereof. And this version of it is boring to me. I'm sorry. Now, as opposed to that, we've got the much less boring thing to talk about. My fucking dude. Let's get him up there in the top spot like he deserves for now. Snorlax is probably, I'm just going to say this now since we're pretty much done, probably my favorite or second favorite Pokemon in the first generation. Bar none. I liked Snorlax so much, I caught both of them in Fire Red and took them both with me on my team to fight the Elite Four. One of them had like a kind of body slam, rest, sleep talk build. I think with Giga Impact as well. And the other one had like Flamethrower or something. I can't remember what weird like elemental moves it could learn. But I taught it a bunch of special types moves and just like rolled the Elite Four with them. It was great. Big fan of Snorlax. Love that guy. Love the big fat dude. I kind of wish that we had one of the older sprites where he was actively laying down, but this is cool too. As for the Giga form of Snorlax, it's not quite good enough. I wouldn't say I hate it, but I am putting it at the bottom of neutral. I just am not a big fan of it, honestly. You know what? I would put it at the top of dislike. I would describe myself as disliking it. Alright, sorry, there's a little bit of a break there in the video. I had to go answer a knock at my door. But, we're back in it. So yeah, I would describe myself as disliking the Giga Snorlax form. Just not a huge fan. It doesn't quite do anything for me that I would like. Next up, we've got the legendary birds here, along with their alternative forms, which we will talk about. Yes, we will. So, first off, right out of the gate, Articuno. I love Articuno. I like the ice type. I like this particular blue bird. I would put it probably around... man, not as high as I kind of thought it would be, to be honest with you. Probably there. That makes sense to me. Zapdos. Ooh boy, I don't like Zapdos. I actively dislike Zapdos. Probably around... damn, probably around there. And as for Moltres I'm very neutral towards, but lower end of neutral for sure. Just not quite my vibe. As for these alternative forms, I don't like this guy at all. The Roadrunner Zapdos, not a huge fan. The even fiery, like more fiery Moltres that is fierier than the other fiery one, I dislike. And this version of Articuno, it's just the original Articuno, but like purple. And purple's cool, so we're going to put you slightly higher. Very slightly higher. It keeps a certain degree of elegance. And I like that. It's a pretty Pokemon. Nice color. Let's see here. So then we've got Dratini, Dragonair. It's getting kind of hard to find my spot now. And Dragonite. So these are an interesting line because of how different they are from each other. They really just don't fit together at all. Dratini is, I think, a like, probably around here. Dragonair is probably slightly higher, mostly because of the coloration. And I would probably put it probably right there. Dragonite. Dragonite is good. Dragonite is very good. I would probably put Dragonite slightly below Dragonair. I'm one of those people. I love Dragonite. Dragonite is a goofy idiot, but I really like Dragonair's whole vibe. I guess I just like Pokemon that are blue and have, like, any amount of elegance, huh? Whatever. This is my list. Make your own, if you disagree. Then we've got Mewtwo, and we've got Mewtwo, and we've got Mewtwo, and then we've got Mew, who's just Mew. I like Mew quite a bit, actually. I would say that I love Mew slightly more than Magikarp. What a weird sentence. As for Mewtwo, I mean, Mewtwo's cool, but he's so overdone. He's dropped. He used to be one of my tops. He's dropped significantly just through overexposure and just, I don't know, waning interest. Put him there. I don't like this, though. I actively dislike that version of Mewtwo. This version of Mewtwo, though, I feel like this version of Mewtwo, like, look here real quick. Look at these two. Alright, side by side. Like, yeah, obviously it's a little bit more Mewtwo than it is Mew, but, like, they could be similar. It almost feels like this was supposed to be Mew's other form, you know? It's weird. That being said, though, this version of Mewtwo, I do actually love this version. I would put it at the bottom. It kind of feels like it's the enhanced version of Mewtwo that makes sense, rather than going with like a I punch good kind of vibe for the psychic Pokemon extraordinaire. They went with I'm a little idiot with a big brain vibe, which I think fits much better. But either way, let's go up to the top here, and then I will slow scroll through this for you, pausing every couple of seconds while I do the outro, and you guys can kind of get a vibe of what the list is like. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make so far. We'll see how fun it is after the first comments roll in. But the next couple episodes will probably be a bit shorter, because the other generations are mostly much smaller in terms of overall numbers added, especially in this case because we won't be doing the Alolan forms, or they're not that we won't be doing them, but there won't be as many Alolan forms as we move forward, so it should be pretty cool. Also, I apologize if I got any of the terms wrong or whatever. I don't play Pokemon anymore. Oh man, it looks like we do have one other generation that is just Omega stacked with dudes. Goddamn. But I don't play Pokemon anymore. It just does not interest me outside of the designs and stuff. And honestly, as the games move forward to new gens, sadly, it does kind of feel like a lot of their designs are also losing something that I enjoyed. Either way, I still love a lot of the Pokemon. Let's not end on the negatives. Let's end on some positives here. Let's scroll up, kind of highlight my favorites, the ones I love, and the ones that I just kind of like, you know? I like them as a friend. It's the platonic tier down there. If you guys enjoy this sort of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Very soon after this video goes up, there will probably be the first episode of our modded Pokemon playthrough that myself and my friend Andy are doing. Luminescent, or Luminous Platinum, or whatever it's called. Should be pretty cool. Until then, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe so you can keep up with us. We have a Patreon if you want to support us financially, which I would really appreciate, especially. And, you know, until next time, have a good one, enjoy playing Pokemon, and peace.